Sure. I'm in the right seat. I'll send you the link. You might see Jet. Should be. Houston. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Love Houston.
Houston, never problem.
Well, we went for
I've been on some weird roads before.
In case I missed anybody, can you tell that our servicemen finally showed up for our sound system? Sounds good, huh?
Way too long.
Well, I'll have to used to keeping it farther away. Also, Ted, you'll be happy to know we are getting a quote for the instant. We're getting 2 quotes. Loop and one other thing that they recommended for comparison. So we're anxiously awaiting that. Okay.
You may get some others with hearing aids that come.
Well, that very well may be. I think you're right. Anyway, I'm just going to announce for the record, is there anybody here that's interested in seeing the Northwest Sewer District PowerPoint presentation?
Of course.
You can watch it in your office.
Your snooze, Mr. Gable.
Okay, so out in YouTube land, on the Hainesville website at hainesville.org, on the home page, you can click on a video that's linked through Lake County website that will explain the improvements to be made within the Northwest Sanitary Sewer District, and this will result in a $1.50 improvement fee on your monthly sewer bill effective January 2014. So, we're going to call the village board meeting to order on Tuesday, October 8th at 7:08 p.m. And if everybody will please rise, and I'll lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if everybody will please stay standing just for a moment, I'd like to have a moment of silence for our resident Kaver Tyke, who passed away on September 30th. Roll call.
Mayor Linda Soto.
Present.
Trustees Darrenowski. Priest.
Here.
Duberstein. Here. Barrett.
Present.
Daly.
Here.
And Walkington.
Okay, we just made it into quorum. Trustee Walkington called me a short while ago. He is running late. He will be here shortly. He apologizes. Trustee Darrenowski got a promotion at work, and he's in training this week. And he has assured us that he is cleared with the supervisor to attend future board meetings, so that should all be good. We can have a motion for approval of tonight's agenda, please.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Priest.
Aye.
Duberstein. Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, at this time, we'll take public comments. Did our clerk receive any comment cards? Okay. Going. Then at this time, I'd like to turn to important business to get us through this meeting. We have our quarterly birthday cake over by our treasurer, Kelly Hensley, who's guarding it for us. And the birthdays we're acknowledging for this past quarter happen to be for Kelly, Roseanne, Georgianne, Karen Noble, who's not present tonight, Jeff Gately, and also myself. Also, just a side note, Kathy Metzler, who is not here tonight, she's under the weather. Her birthday is October 11th, just in case you want to give her a call or send her an email. But anyway, let's cut cake real quick.
Let them eat cake.
Oh, okay. All right, while she's turning to that, and we'll help assist her in a moment, let's at least get the omnibus vote agenda. Do we have
Moved. Second.
roll call?
Trustee Priest,
Aye.
Duberstein, Barrett,
Aye.
and David.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We'll move on to reports and communications. Village engineer, Greg?
Thanks, Mayor. A couple of things this evening. First is the water tower. We issued the certificate of substantial completion to the contractor, and consistent with all the documents, there's a 5-year contractor's bonded warranty that the village purchased, so you are bonded for 5 years on that water tower. He also got his last piece of equipment out of that park site today, so that was a good thing.
It looks nice now that that's gone.
Yes, it does. Number 2 is at the Northwest Lake County Wholesale Sewer, the presentation that so much hard work got put into, but nobody attended here today. But in any event, that's $1.50 a month surcharge for some lagoon improvements. And basically, that's going to be on the bill, like I had mentioned, starting next year. That whole improvement is designed to free up capacity on the interceptor sewer that leads to the plant. So although the village's sewers are relatively tight, we are part of that whole group, and ultimately this will benefit the village by opening up or maintaining the capacity in the sewer system downstream. I would say the biggest issue that we have today is later on in the business section. There is a resolution supporting submission of a grant for a CDBG, which is Community Development Block Grant application. What we're searching for is a $100,000 grant to aid in the cost to resurface the Cranberry Lake subdivision. Essentially, that work would be done next year in 2014 if we do get the grant. Essentially, that $100,000 is not enough to go ahead and finish the entire project. So I met with the Finance Committee today, talk about a combination of MFT funds and village general funds in addition to the $100,000 grant, if we do get it, to be used to complete that Cranberry Lake resurfacing project. So that's what that resolution is for later on this evening. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Brent.
A question, did we ever
Right.
resolve the tank issue with the length of time where it was sitting idle? They were sitting idle, did we get a refund or something?
We got a reduced rate, we didn't get a refund, but there is 2 other bills in question, and Terry Graham just popped in as I was leaving, and we will be meeting, not this week, but the following week, to go over some of those bills.
Okay, thanks.
One other question about the water tower. Where are they going to take the sidle away that's been over there? It's called.
That's kind of-
That's what he just announced, and I said it looks so much better.
Yeah.
Oh, it is gone?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, the trailer that they used to haul it was broken and was in the shop, but it is gone, and it looks fantastic without it.
Yeah.
Any further questions? Okay, we'll go to our village attorney, Jim Rock.
Thank you, Mayor. We've had some ongoing discussions with a business that is considering locating in Hainesville. Been discussing our zoning ordinances and our business regulations with them. Hopefully sometime soon we'll have some exciting news for you.
I have an update.
Okay.
I got a call from the business owner. This is the dental office that we mentioned previously. And it was my understanding that he was going to meet with them today and the lease was to be signed. So pending that all the documents were in order, then hopefully I'll hear tomorrow that the lease was indeed signed And then they will start the build out. So that will be a 6-chair dental office. They already have an office established in Lakemore, so this will be a second office for them. And they'll be hiring additional vets.
In addition to that, we had a couple meetings with Mayor Soto and Trustee Duperstein discussing some questions and issues related to Cranberry Lake and the wetlands and conservancy areas there. And we plan, I think, to have a presentation to the board in November on those issues. And that's all I have tonight.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Public Works Superintendent Jeff Gately.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to take a moment to thank everybody about the kind thoughts of my mother-in-law. She was a very special lady to me, very dear to my heart, and I just appreciate everything that the village has done. Anyway, back to work. The pedestrian crossing over at 12 we have the forms in, the bases are in, they're ready to go. We're hopefully going to have those activated by the end of this week. I'm just waiting to fine-tune a couple of things with Aaron to make sure that he can accommodate on his schedule. He was going to get back with me tomorrow morning. So with all pressing forward, that should be done this week. We did get a little bit delayed on the tree stump project due to some personal issues. We're slated to start that on Monday of next week. We'll have the piece of equipment ready, and we should be able to blow through that. I would say probably 5 to 10 days tops for the ones that we have down. We are about 3/4 of the way done with mulching around the path around Cranberry
the chips?
Lake. Again, sometimes logistics kind of slow down between when we can hook up with Grays Lake. They do have plenty. We've had a couple of good storms coming through, and they keep calling, asking me to come and take it. So I'm like, we'll take whatever you're going to give us. And there should be enough to actually go all the way down Hainesville Road, should we need to go that far. And then also the little area up on Tall Oak in Jubilee Court. We should have enough to get that done as well. So I would hope within the next few weeks we should be able to get that completed and done. And
One of the things with Jubilee Court, I had a question, I was looking at our plat on that, but another concern would be, since I was walking that today, it's so
steep.
that those chips are going to wash out right away.
They have in the past.
So I just was wondering if there's any alternatives, I mean, anything we can do to keep them from washing out so quickly. But anyway, we can talk about that.
Talk to a couple people and see, maybe, I don't know if we want to put some type of step barrier in there, just to kind of hold it in there.
Maybe we can
You know,
roll it off so that it's
just-
not so steep.
If we blacked out the whole path, we'd have $40.
Yeah, and are you gonna?
And when you're in jail, we'll visit you.
I was just gonna say, will you pay the fine to the Corps of Engineers?
Another option to look at there is maybe like that real fine limestone that would be permeable.
Oh, yeah, that would be like we have over by the
Shark.
department.
Something that might,
That won't stay there very long. It's too bad you can't build a rock barrier of some kind and cover it with something.
Well, we'll send you out there, Gary, you go out there and you
I'll
take
fix it.
Okay, I'm counting on
Just
that.
ask.
Okay.
what else do I have here? Our landscaping contractor was out last week. I don't know if anybody's noticed, we've got mums, they put in fall mums, where all the annuals were. We did have a little bit of, I don't want to call it an issue, we had a change of management within the landscaping company.
Middle management, yeah.
I have met the person that has taken over. He knows what we're looking for. He has a copy of the contract. We will still be getting perennials right now just to kind of play catch up because this season has been so strange. Weather-wise, everything was late to begin with. He's going to come up with a plan of where we're going to put certain perennials in different areas. We should have that within the next couple of weeks. But I kind of told him, let's at least get some color in here, just to kind of beautify it up. And they're doing a nice job. It looks nice.
Yeah.
once they get some type of plan from them, you know, I'll be more than happy to share it with the board and get your input, because we're more than welcome to choose.
Well, if some of the perennials don't go until next spring, that's fine.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Just have to kind of wait and see. And that's all I have for the moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Building official, Aki.
Thank you, Mayor. Last month, the total number of permits we have issued is the same amount of from the previous month, but we had a few different type of permit. Like we had 3 roofing permits, and we had 3 miscellaneous. Those are including like driveways and minor building type of work. And total revenue, we came out a little bit ahead of previous month, around about $22. And the number of inspections, a lot less than the month before. Seems to be less complaining or less miscellaneous inspection that I have to run around. So people are not complaining, too many complaints the last month, which is good for everybody. And total number of inspection was about 19 less than the month before. But feel like last month was a little more active in a permit-wise. So hopefully it's going to continue to do that for this month and following month and so forth. But this is already October, November, December, we're not sure building industry-wise because of the weather and so forth. Hopefully it's going to get better.
All right, thank you. Okay, an announcement regarding our EMA coordinator, Mike Benko. He is having some of his responsibilities change at work. He's had a hard time getting to board meetings because he's usually stuck at work. Well, they decided to officially make him work on Tuesday nights, so he's not just stuck at work. However, he wanted me to assure the board, as far as being EMA coordinator, he's still up to the task. If there was a situation in Hainesville, his supervisor understands that he would be heading back here. Wally, I don't know if he's had a chance to contact you. He said when things slow down, maybe in the next month, he wants to just try to talk to you so you two work more closely together. But he's up to the task, he just won't be at the board meeting, so maybe he'll have you reporting or something, Wally.
I'll text you.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay, great. Treasurer, Kelly Hensley.
Well, I'm gonna wait until all my items are new business tonight.
You're gonna save your fire for later, okay. And our village clerk is not present, but we have our ever responsible deputy clerk, Roseanne. Do you have any announcements from Kathy or? Okay. We'll move on to the mayor's report. First, I want to just comment on again, we had our moment of silence, and Jeff was talking about his mother-in-law, Kay Ratyke, who just passed. Kay was a wonderful resident in our community. She touched many people. Her husband, Paul, just recently retired as our part-time plumbing inspector. And if anybody ever met Kay once, you didn't forget her because she always had a smile on her face. And so she will be dearly missed. But I think the wonderful thing is the community has come together, and we're there to watch over Paul and help Jeff and Susan and their kids with whatever they need. So, lovely ceremony too. Lovely at Lord of Glory. Very nice job here. The Groot public hearing closed on October 2nd. You can still submit any written public comments that you have. You would drop them off at the Brown Lake Park Village Hall, addressed to their village clerk, and those will become part of the record. And it's important to understand that the hearing officer will be compiling all this information and all the testimony from the public hearing, and we'll have a final meeting with the the attorneys and the experts that registered for the public hearing, and then that hearing officer submits a report to the Round Lake Park Village Board. And most likely it'll be probably early December that the Round Lake Park Village Board would meet and render a decision. Of course, we had expert testimony from our consultant with Grays Lake, but everybody also has a copy of a letter that I submitted appealing to the Round Lake Park Village Board regarding requests and ideas regarding traffic impact. And I was at the Best Annual Chili Supper last night, and I saw Mayor Lucasen, I saw Trustee Jean McHugh and Trustee Safiri, and they all seemed at least responsive and acknowledging with a great smile and appreciation my letter. So that was at least a good sign that they were reading my letter. Also, November 21st here at the Hainesville Village Hall will be our next SWALCO meeting. That's the Solid Waste Agency of Lake County. And it is possible that our Director Walter Willis, as well as our Attorney Larry Clark, may have some additional information about any other recommendations or agreements already, even before Round Lake Park has their official meeting. Not promising it, but it's a possibility. That's all I have at this time. We'll move on to standing committees. Finance, Trustee Daly.
Kelly, I'll carry the load with her report.
Okay, all right. We're saving all the fire to the end. Public Works, Trustee Watkington.
I really don't have a whole lot. I did talk with Jeff last week before he had to take care of his business, but there still is a plan to have the roof on the public works building taken care of before the weather turns too bad. So that's all I have.
Okay. Did we talk to them recently?
I actually talked to them this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
And I said, we're getting down to the punch here, 10 days or I'll find something else.
Okay.
So they've assured that they will be out.
Okay.
To do it.
Partial replacement or total?
The partial.
Okay. We will move on to Public Safety, Trustee Priest.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a meeting tonight, Jerry Daly and I. No residents did show up. But we were discussing a few things. We looked over the police report, and the only thing that was kind of staring and glaring to us was the fact that they had 18 open garage incidences again. And no matter how much we talk about it and whatever, this October, I should say, is Crime Prevention Month. Okay, we put an article in a newsletter of how you can protect yourself, and closing your garage doors is the quickest and easiest way. And our police chief tells us to lock our cars in the driveways, keep the garage doors closed, and keep your valuables. But people still seem to not get the idea. So, but that's about it.
It's amazing. I agree. It's. I don't know. Maybe we should do a blitz one day.
And hang it up.
Yeah, just maybe something funnier. I don't know.
Empty the garages.
Restack all the garage blinds.
Something funny like a fine.
Garage trick or treat.
Garage trick or treat. I like that idea.
I still have cows at the park.
Well, can we borrow them and put them in people's garages?
Fertilizer. Donation.
I thought we were going to move the cows.
Okay, wetlands and open spaces, Trustee Duberstein.
Not much on the wetland front, other than what Jim mentioned. We've been talking about things that we'll talk about at the next board meeting. As far as best, as Linda mentioned, our fundraising chili supper was last night, and although I don't have any of the figures, it looked like it was successful. A lot of people came, and everyone who was there enjoyed it. Lots of chili and hot dogs went flying out to people, so it seemed like it was a good thing. Best is having Giovanni Gomez speak at our next meeting, which will be Thursday at 8:30 in the morning. He will be talking about the affordable health care and you, how it's going to affect you, what you need to do, all that sort of thing. So if you're interested, it's at the Cultural and Civic Center in Round Lake Beach, 8:30 Thursday morning, October 10th.
great, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to business. First item up is the resolution supporting the submission of the Lake County 2013 CDBG application.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Priest,
Aye.
Zuber, Barrett,
Aye.
Bailey,
Aye.
and Waddington.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution R 13-1073.
Just wondering if we need to say what it is for the finance.
The resolution we just passed is what Greg Ruin mentioned in his report earlier, that we would be passing under business, and this is an application for a grant that we would be using for road resurfacing in Cranberry Lake subdivision, correct?
Correct.
Okay, item 2 is presentation, here comes some fire, and a motion to approve the annual financial report fiscal year ending April 30th, 2013.
Well, every board member should have their nice spiral bound annual financial report in the packet. And I'm just gonna go through, I also put a presentation that I was gonna discuss with everyone tonight. So you can follow along. I'm probably gonna go skip around a little bit, not cover everything, but a lot of the basics are in here. The auditors were out. We had a nice, great early start with the audit, and we thought we'd have it not at this point in the time for passage and presentation to the board, but they were doing some different shifting around of their internal staff and everything, and new controls on their end. So it did take a little bit longer, and we anticipate next year to run much smoother and have this passed in a more timely fashion. The auditors, we received this probably about a week ago, so to make it in time for the board conference. If you turn to page 3, it gives some financial highlights. Some of those highlights are the assets of the village exceeded its liabilities at the close of the most recent fiscal year, which was April 2013. And that dollar amount was $17,684,843. The majority of the assets are within the business type activities, otherwise known as public works, which now we're getting more familiar also with the term of enterprise fund. Think of public works and enterprise as the same thing. Of that amount of the 17 million, 3,607,000 and some change may be used to meet the village's ongoing obligations to citizens and creditors. The majority of this amount is within the governmental activity, so the general fund. The village's total net position, or the village's bottom line, decreased by $214,000. This includes the systematic and planned consumption of the village's capital assets. We're spending down some of the reserve funds that we've had in place. The village has a little over $3 million available for spending within the governmental funds, meaning the money has not been assigned to a specific person at a specific purpose at the close of the fiscal year 2013. Within this current fiscal year that we're in, we are hopeful to have more money earmarked into our 5-year plan. The village's total debt did increase by about $106,000 during that fiscal year due to the IEPA loan. Another financial highlight is at the end of the current fiscal year, the village is able to report positive balances in all categories of the net position. Moving on to page 7, within your book, it shows the changes in net assets. Net assets are defined as what is left after deduction of all liabilities from assets. The ending balance for governmental activities show an increase in net position. More capital projects were completed. This also includes MMT. While the business type activities show a decrease in net position for the ending balance, mainly due to depreciation of expensive assets. Moving now to page 10, shows general fund budgetary highlights. The general fund's actual revenue were over budget by $101,000, which means the village received more than what we budgeted for. Expenditures were about $30,000 less than what we budgeted amount, meaning the village spent less than what we budgeted for. On the revenue revenue side, we're conservative in some areas because we don't know the fluctuation of sales tax and that. And so we always take a conservative approach, so that's probably largely the 101,000. As of April 30th, 2013, the village had long-term debts and loans payable of $750,000. The long-term debt is comprised of a bank note payable, which is the Public Works building next door, an IEPA loan, and a capital obligation. Additional information on the long-term debt is found on page 12. Within the audit, pages 13 through 24, these are the basic financial statements. The statements show the statement of net assets for the funds, statement of activities, which are expenses and charges for services for the funds. There are also statements of revenues and expenditures and a statement of cash flow. Moving on to the notes of the financial statements, which start on page 25, and they continue to page 39. The first section of those, starting on page 29, and it gives you definitions of what is net position of fund equity, cash and investments, long-term liabilities. It gives you a little bit of background information of how also to interpret the audit. Some of the notes on the financial statements, again, the note payable is the bank, the Public Works building. The loan matures January 1st, 2016. We pay monthly right now, but at January 2016, we have that one-time balloon payment of $343,000, so we need to keep that in mind with long-range planning. Another note to the statements is the Illinois EPA loan. The first loan payment was due May 2013 and continues until May 2032. The Rubloff Economic Development Agreement is still in effect. I feel within this current fiscal year that we are in now, we should meet that $300,000 threshold of payment, and then we should be about done with that. And we have the intergovernmental agreement, which we entered into with the school district quite a few years ago. They have a credit balance now of $48,000, and that agreement again was to waive and abate fees and charges associated with providing water service to the elementary school. The final pages of the audit show schedules of revenue and expenditures for the general fund and comparing to what was budgeted for and what was really received and spent. There's also a schedule of the enterprise fund, again, the Public Works fund, the water sewer portion. And it's broken down, this current fiscal year, 2013 that we're speaking about, it's broken down into the streets and sanitation and the water and sewer. For this fiscal year, and including $172,000 in depreciation, there is a loss or change in that position of $233,000. For fiscal year 2014, streets and sanitation activities have been moved to the general fund, and also an increase in water and sewer rates was voted upon by the board. And they'll be reflected in the next audit. The very last couple of pages of the audit shows the history of the 10 last tax levy years, the tax rates and what was extended to the village. Basically, that concludes this whole 50-page about audit. Is there any questions? I hope everyone had a chance to kind of digest through it, read through my presentation. It's a lot.
The presentation was well done. Are there any questions for Kelly?
The balloon payment stems from where, Kelly?
Sorry.
The balloon payment stems from where?
The balloon payment is the Public Works.
Public Works, okay, so it's not just a long-term loan on it?
No,
We set it up so we can get favorable financing? Okay, so we got a balloon at the end of it, all right.
Correct, correct.
Then once we clear the balloon, it's our building.
Yes.
Oh.
The loss or change in the, I guess, in the enterprise fund, 233, was that because we've always kept our water bills lower, and is that also included with the water tower?
Well, one thing to think about is that 233,000 decrease, 172,000 of that dollar amount is depreciation.
Okay.
Many boards do not budget for depreciation, and and the auditor said, yes, we don't. So looking at that, then you're only talking 50-ish. Yeah, so to dissect all those other figures, if you needed more concrete, I can go back and look and see, but we did a lot during this past fiscal year with the water sewer. We had a few B boxes break that we had to take care of in that.
Any further questions? Well, as you digest this, if questions pop up, Kelly's certainly available. So send her an email or give her a call. I'm sure she'll be happy to chat with you about it. Okay, so we need a motion to approve the annual treasurer's report as presented.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Priest.
Aye.
Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Daley.
Aye.
Walkington.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Excuse me, Mayor, you just approved the annual treasurer's report.
Oh, annual financial
We
report.
need that one too.
All right, so,
So moved.
okay. Now we'll move on to a motion to approve the annual treasurer's report, fiscal year ending April 30th, 2013.
So moved.
And that's that one-page statement. It gives you a snapshot of all the revenues, expenditures, bottom line.
We have a motion? Second.
Second.
Any further discussion or questions on the sheet? Roll call.
Trustee Priest.
Aye.
Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Daley.
Aye.
And Walkington.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, here's a long one for me to say. Here's a resolution supporting the retrofit of existing DOT 111 rail tank cars that transport packing groups 1 and 2 hazmat before the Pipelines and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration in docket number PHMSA 2012-0082 HM 251. Boy, no wonder you're tired when I see you, Kevin.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Priest.
Aye.
Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Daley.
Aye.
And Walkington.
Aye.
Motion carried, and that's resolution R-13-1074.
Okay, then we have an ordinance amending the village code, chapter 3.04.02, establishing guidelines regarding authorization for expenditures. We have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Priest.
Aye.
Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Daley.
Aye.
And Walkington.
Aye.
Motion carried, and it's ordinance 13-10-177.
Okay, do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have some more cake.